Hey everybody. Oh shit, wrong picture. Hey everybody. Uh I this review's gonna be a little different. I'm very sick right now. Joseph is not here. He did see the film and he did let me know how he felt about it, so I will tell you all how he felt about it. Uh but yeah, I'm sick as hell and I want to get this review out quick. This is gonna be a quick video because honestly I don't have much to say about this movie other than what I'm about to say. Oh man. Anyways, don't worry, Joseph will be back probably for. Actually, I don't know what's coming out, but he'll be back. Don't worry. Anyways, yesterday I saw Captain America: Brave New World, the newest Captain America movie. This is Sam Wilson's big screen debut as Captain America. Uh, he became Captain America in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and yeah, now he's Captain America. Whoop de doo. Um, I did watch Falcon Winter Soldier. I thought it was fine. I liked the episode. I like John Walker. I thought he was an interesting character. I like the part where he decapitated that guy, and then everybody got their phones out. It was like World Star. But other than that, the show was whatever. It's like they just built a boat for 3 episodes. Like why the hell did I stay up for this? This was back when we stayed up for these shows. You remember when the MCU Disney Plus shows when we actually like stayed up for them? That was crazy. Anyways, um, so I wasn't really that excited for this movie. I thought it looked cool. I was like, okay, Red Hulk's in the movie. That's something. And I wasn't super excited for it. And unfortunately, my expectations were met. This is a very mid movie. It's not terrible. It's definitely not the worst MCU movie. I wouldn't even put it in the bottom 5 worst MCU movies, honestly. But this movie is just very middle of the road, and even though a lot happens in it, it feels very uneventful. You know, it just feels like there wasn't much passion behind this movie. Like they just made it out of a sense of obligation. You know what I mean? And I just think that they didn't really do anything spectacular in any department. The story is really uninteresting. It's like Manchurian Candidate. The president is almost assassinated, and now Sam Wilson has to figure out who did it. And that's fine, but you don't. It's not really a very personal story. Like Winter Soldier was kind of about the same thing, where Shield was being taken over from the inside by Hydra, and that was an interesting story. But you also had a lot of other stuff going on with Steve's personal connection with the Winter Soldier himself, and it was an interesting story, and it told you more about who Captain America was as a character, and you also had him dealing with him adjusting to the modern world. Sam Wilson, all you really have with him is just him trying to figure out this conspiracy. He doesn't really learn anything. He doesn't change throughout the movie. He just kind of just that's all he's doing. He's just going on this mission, and it's really not that important. Winter Soldier, like that was like, oh my god, fucking Shield is like crumbling from the inside. This one, it's like the president was almost assassinated, and now he's like, all right, well, let's find out who did it. The villain of this movie sucks. I'm not gonna say who he is, just in case you don't know who he is, but it's a character from a previous MCU movie, and he just sucks a major asshole. I mean, he's the smartest. He's like one of the smartest characters, or at least he should be, because like, well, I don't want to say what it is that makes him smart, but he has something. He has it's like a transformation he went through in a previous movie, and now he's super smart. But he does a lot of things where I'm like, why did you need to do that for your plan? What sense does that make? Especially near the end. There's also like a new Falcon like sidekick for Sam Wilson, and he's not super annoying. He's not the most annoying MCU character, comic relief ever, but he's also not very funny. Nothing he ever said made me laugh. Really, this movie's not funny at all, but I mean, I don't need every MCU movie to be a comedy, so that's not a huge deal. A movie like this, I want it to be exciting and interesting and thrilling, and it's really none of those things. Um Yeah, I don't know. Harrison Ford is weird in this movie because the first half he looks like he's about to fall asleep, like throughout half of his scenes. But the second half he does a lot better. Like he actually like there's a lot of layers to Thunderbolt Ross in this movie. I will say there is a disconnect between him and William Hurt. Like I feel like him and William Hurt Ross are two different characters, you know. And Joseph told me that he didn't buy Harrison Ford as Ross, and I kind of agree with him. Like it felt like a completely, not completely, but it did feel like a different character. It felt like Thunderbolt Ross's brother. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to William Hurt, of course. But yeah, the villains sucked. The story was uninteresting. The movie's kind of boring, honestly. Like it's not like I wasn't like falling asleep or anything, but it is really boring. It is just so like I was just watching it like I don't really care about what's going on. And the action scenes they're okay, you know. They're fine. Honestly, there's one that takes place in an area that ties in with another previous MCU movie, and that scene was okay. I had fun with that one. And also, I don't want to say too much about Red Hulk, um, but I will say that the Red Hulk sequence, although I did not like how it was ultimately resolved, I did enjoy the fight. It was interesting. I'm glad I didn't watch trailers because they basically showed the whole fight in the trailers, but it was fun, I guess, for what it was. But I think one of my biggest issues with this movie is Sam Wilson himself. He's just not an interesting main character. You know, and I don't blame Anthony Mackie for this at all. I think Anthony Mackie does a really good job, but the character of Sam Wilson, he doesn't have really anything going on other than this political thriller plot that he's dealing with. But it's like, okay, you know, but you could really put any character in the situation and it wouldn't really change much about the movie. You know, you could put fucking Bucky. You could make a movie about Bucky where he's dealing with the situation and the movie would be 99% the same. You know what I mean? Like I just like it just didn't feel like the movie really told me anything about Sam Wilson that I didn't already know. And I'm not saying every Marvel movie needs to do that. But like, can you does he have an arc in this movie? The only character in this movie with any kind of arc is Ross, and that's basically it. You know? So I don't know. Sam Wilson, he has potential to grow, but as of right now, he's just a very character. But I did enjoy all the action scenes with him. They're fun. It's different from Steve Rogers' Captain America because, you know, he can fly and his suit's made out of vibranium. Although I will say there were certain parts where it's like, okay, I know his suit's made of vibranium, but realistically he should not be able to survive that because he's not a super soldier. But that's a nitpick, you know, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. How's the Red Hulk scene? Well, I kind of talked about it a little bit, but get your stopwatch out. If you're watching this at home, get a stopwatch out. Do you have it out? Okay, good. Now start it. Red Hulk in this movie was awesome. Okay, now stop your stopwatch. That's how long he's in the movie for. They put him all over the trailers and the marketing, and he is. And what's weird is that this whole movie is sort of built up around the fact that Red Hulk is kind of meant to be a surprise. Like the movie is like it like you can tell based on how they build it up and how Red Hulk is presented in this movie. It's supposed to be this big shock for the audience. But I think Marvel and Kevin Feige just had no faith in this movie. So they just made the entire, like, all the trailers made it seem like this is a Captain America versus Red Hulk movie. It is not. It is a Captain America versus another character from Incredible Hulk. Speaking of which, a lot of people have said this, and it is kind of true. This movie is essentially a sequel to The Incredible Hulk. Which I think is not that bad of a movie. People always have that like the bottom of their list of MCU movies. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's okay. It's not great, but you know, it's got some good stuff in it. But yeah, this movie has a lot of characters from Incredible Hulk. It resolves a lot of plot points from that movie. And the other MCU movie that it ties into is Eternals, which is weird. Why would you make Captain America 4 a sequel to two of your most unpopular movies, Kevin. What are you doing? It's funny how, like, to prepare for this movie, Captain America 4, you don't need to watch Captain America 1 through 3. You just need to watch Incredible Hulk and Eternals. What the fuck? But anyways, yeah, Red Hulk in this movie, it was fine. I didn't think he looked great. Like, he looked very, I don't know. You could just tell he wasn't really there. You know, I don't know. I don't know, man. He didn't look awful or anything, but I never got the sense that he was really there, and that kind of took me out of it a little bit. And it's funny. I remember I said this in the Deadpool Wolverine review. I said Captain America: Brave New World is probably going to be an interesting political thriller, and then at the end it's going to have a big dumb CGI fight, and that'll ruin it. But honestly, watching this movie, I was so bored with all the political thriller stuff that I was like, you know what? Honestly, I just want to see the fucking Red Hulk fight now. Like, give me the CGI battle. That's genuinely all I want to see at this point. And it's fine. It's not that long, but it's fine. Honestly, you could just watch this movie and watch from like the last like 20 minutes to the end and you'll get everything you need to get out of it. Like, he turns into Red Hulk and then he and Captain America fight. That's what it is. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, this movie is mid. It's not terrible. It's not the worst MCU movie, but it is definitely the worst Captain America movie. Uh this kind of felt like a TV movie. I would say wait for Disney Plus on this because honestly, I feel like if I watched this at home, I might have enjoyed it more. But driving all the way to the theater and then sitting down and and then watching it, by the end of it, I was like, I could have waited for that to go on Disney Plus. So ultimately, I think this movie is just whatever. I'll probably never think about it again. I'll definitely never see it again. My recommendation level is wait for Disney Plus, but definitely check it out when it does go on Disney Plus because I think there are some sequences that are worth watching. But I can't really recommend paying for this in any level. I mean, it's not that bad, but I can't really recommend going out of your way to spend the $12 on the ticket to watch this shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, ultimately, Captain America: Brave New World, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's bad. It's just one of the movies of all time. Now, if you want to know what Joseph thinks of this film, well, we actually talked about it a little bit yesterday, and he actually enjoyed it a lot more than me. He gave it a 6. He said that he also agrees that it's the worst Cap film, but he thought the character arcs were well done. He enjoyed the action sequences, and he enjoyed Red Hulk, which is good. So I'm glad Joseph liked it. Joseph will be back for future reviews. Ibarra has not seen this film yet, but I called him last night and told him about it, and he laughed when I told him it was an Incredible Hulk sequel because he thought I was bullshitting him. But he'll find out that I wasn't. But yeah, Captain America: Brave New World is mid, and I will see you guys later. Daredevil, please save the MCU.